the sun shines on it.
Oh.
It's really not a good design.
But man, they got a nice manicured lawn,
Yeah.
they're ready, they look ready. They look ready.
Is there Wi-Fi in here?
That clock is
Nice.
on.
Yeah, I think it's all. Let's call this meeting the Warsaw Redevelopment Commission. Order, we'll start off saying pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looks like, all the voting members are here today. Brad is absent. School system, so. First order of business is the approval of minutes from the July sixth meeting. You have to have a password. Assume you guys had a chance to look those over. Okay, Bill's made a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second. And Jackie seconded that. All in favor of approving the minutes from July sixth as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, Jeremy, we have some new business purchase agreement.
Yeah, so before you is a purchase agreement with Warsaw 1500 300 North LLC. This is the owner of the property north of the Coles development. Originally purchased by Thompson and Thrift. They still own the remaining little over 11 acres that is not developed. In conversations with them, they are no longer interested in doing commercial developments. It's been on the market for some time. They've had no buyers. We've had a couple of different people that we've talked to about doing something there. It made sense for us to assist in the development of this land. So I completed 2 appraisals. The average of those 2 appraisals is a little over 1.8 million, 36,100. They've agreed to sell the remaining acreage to us for that amount of money, at which point, if we close on this, purchase it, we'll repackage it for development. So what you have is a purchase agreement for the average of the 2 appraisals in the amount of $1,836,100 for that remaining acreage north of the Coles development. Any questions?
Where that money's coming from?
They'll come out of northern tip.
Where specifically did you say that was?
So you have Coles all the way up to TG Maxx and all that development. There's roughly 11 acres north of that that was never finished. The intent was to keep building commercial up through there. Thompson and Thrift originally started out doing residential development, then they moved into commercial development. They've subsequently left commercial development again and are focused only on residential development. Therefore, they have no interest and have had no interest in developing the property. They've packaged it, or they've tried to sell it a few times, but couldn't get any buyers. I think last go around, it's been under option for like 2+ years for a potential site for the VA. Obviously, that option expired, and that was the conversation I had with them, was if they were willing to sell it. They said yes. We did the appraisals. I gave them the average. They were willing to sell it for the average of the 2 appraisals.
Jeremy, is that zone commercial?
Yes.
Okay. Did that hold them back from trying to rezone it for residential, or?
Not necessarily, but I'm not entirely sure we would have been wanting residential there because it is prime commercial property. We have a lot of different properties that we do want residential on. I'm not sure that would have been one of them. And no, they did not ask.
If we buy it and then sell it for development, does it retain its TIF status?
Yes. So the intent obviously would be twofold. So we would buy it, and at the same time, we would package that for development. At the time we would develop it, we're probably going to adjust the TIF in that area. So we'll probably re-up the TIF when that development happens. Kind of like what we just did with the tech park. Does that make sense? Understand what I'm saying? So we'll
yeah,
reset the clock on that portion
because of the sale,
because of the sale. So
okay,
I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't know what the time frame for any development is. But when we do a development there, we'll probably reset the clock for that 11 acres. That will maximize our ability to recoup the investment that we made in it, i.e. 1.8 million in land and whatever it might take to finish off the development.
is there any property in that retail TIF area that hasn't been utilized?
There's a few small parcels, but most of it's been built out, you know.
And when's the clock run out on that TIF as it is right now?
I think all of that expires in the 2030.
Oh, it
so
does.
Very, very soon.
Yeah, okay. All
That
right.
was all part of, it's either 30 or 32, but it was all part of the Walmart, the Lowe's, that whole development was all kind of part of. That section may be a little older, so it may be in that 32 range, but not by much.
So what do? You reestablish the TIF on that property?
On that 11 acres. The
Yeah,
rest of it
yeah.
would still expire and go
Right.
on to the general tax rate, but just that 11 acres, that doesn't have anything on it now,
Right,
and is presumably low value. The intent obviously is to spend money to make it more valuable.
sure.
So the idea of TIF is to be able to recapture those funds that we
Right.
spent, yeah.
But you have the option of resetting it and taking your time to do it
Yeah.
till we identify the developer.
Yeah, so for now, it's already in the TIF. We can use, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we've already bought and sold this property once. Like we did that when we did the Coles development as a whole. Which is one of the reasons why we didn't need to add it to the acquisition list, because we already bought the property back when the original Coles development was done. So really all we're gonna be doing is closing on this property. I've got 2 or 3 developers that we've talked to in conjunction with Retail Strategies. They sent some developers to us. We'll have some conversations about what entities we'd like to target to see whether or not we can get any of those commercial entities. And then once we feel like we've got a project that we can get behind, we'll bring it to the Redevelopment Commission. We'll probably, like I said, reset the TIF on that 11.88 acres, but we've got a little bit of work to do before then.
Okay.
Any other questions for purchase agreement or strategy? Jeremy has in relation to this?
I make a motion to approve first.
Okay. Bill's made a motion to approve the purchase agreement. First off, 1581 LLC. There's a second.
I'll second.
All right, Jack, second that, thank you. So first and second, all in favor of approving the purchase agreement, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a purchase agreement for the lot of Jefferson and Buffalo.
Yeah, I believe this is for 138,000. 6 agreed upon purchase price. Some of you may have seen this lot, but this lot is on Buffalo Street, around the bank and Peking. The city originally purchased that well, we took that property at tax sale, maybe mid-2000s, like 2009, 8, somewhere around there.
It was, I think, 11.
Was it?
I was.
Yeah, you. So we
I
took,
don't remember there was a rat-infested apartment building
I
there.
was just saying, when there's
Yeah, like
structure.
a multi-unit apartment building,
Yeah,
and it was nasty.
I remember that.
we took it at tax sale, demoed it, and sold it. And now we're rebuying it. But this project was part of kind of a downtown plan that we put together, where we're gonna build a park here. And so I know that they've been working with Larry, the Parks Department, on and going after some grant funding for that. The intent here is the Redevelopment Commission purchase the property and then work with the Parks Department and other city departments to develop this new park at this location.
It's right across from where that murals, the first murals go.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of park is gonna be, is there a theme to it?
There is, and it had a name.
Yeah,
It's a sculpture park, isn't it?
yeah,
Sculpture
play
park, yeah.
So there'll be,
Go right to the
interactive.
microphone, Terry. Use-
As it's envisioned and been designed with renderings and cost estimates so far, it'll be the first fully fenced park that the Parks Department has in the city. It will be, accessible to people of all abilities. And then we'll have interactive types of, kind of almost art-focused, experiences. So one of the things that, the mayor and Larry went to Westfield to see was this, what's called a Sona Arch, which is an interactive music game kind of thing. And then we've created a walkway that creates interactive percussion instruments as part of that. There's a communal art table, a picnic table, as well as a storytelling area, and then climbing equipment. And then there'll be opportunities for kids murals, for the chalk wall, as well as then some professional art installations. And we've made applications for grants to the Community Foundation, to the First Source Bank Foundation, and to, we've gotten permission to move forward with Ori at grant, and then with K-21 Grant Foundation. So substantially reducing the cost of the park.
Was that in your presentation when you did?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. Then I went down to it, I forgot to look up that particular part. But it's amazing what they've done down there.
Yeah.
Those areas north of it.
Does that property, your plans include significant parking or adequate parking?
Yeah, I think there's 10 spaces as part of the site plan. And then we've spoken with First Source Bank. They've actually given us preliminary communications of awarding a grant to this project. And it is their intention to allow us to have overflow parking in their parking lot, which is directly adjacent to it.
Yeah, they have quite a good spot.
Yeah.
So that's for sure, at certain times.
And as George said, this is immediately south of one of our first proposed murals, which is on the building at 220 South Buffalo Street, on the north side of Jefferson. And if you think about kind of the southern gateway into downtown, it's pretty barren, not real downtown, as well as consistently, we get feedback from the different surveys we've done over the last 3 years of there's nothing for families and children to do in the core of downtown. So this kind of meets those needs as well.
So what you're asking us today is permission to purchase.
Yes, this is just a purchase agreement, contract for that property.
Right. As far as the utilization of that property for park, what's the next step with that?
There's a couple of grant applications that they've put together in partnership with the city. So we'll see what we get with those grants, and then there would be another contract to go out to bid, and then valuation of what that is based on what we may get in grants and what we would need to backfill to actually build it.
Will they bring the plan back to the Redevelopment Commission for approval?
It is my understanding they're probably going to need redevelopment commission money, so yes, most likely. Like we've got 2 grant applications at K-21 and I think First Source, but that's only gonna be a portion of the cost of the project. So there'll be a match portion that will most likely come out of redevelopment funds.
But as far as utilization of that property, because the city is buying it, we don't need to approve the use of the park on it, or, I would sure like to see a plan for the
Oh,
park.
yeah. There have to be a plan, because it has to be bid out. And we do have,
Yeah, I can send that to the entire commission.
we have preliminary design plans for it,
Yeah,
that Larry has worked with the group.
They're in Sean,
Yeah, it was
designing local, or no, I'm sorry, it was Anderson Bowlander.
yeah, Anderson Bolander did the original design for it. And they worked with Larry on that kind of immersion part.
yeah. The property, obviously it was multifamily, and then it was purchased from it was a purchase from redevelopment or from the city
Redevelopment.
by a local restaurateur who was gonna put a restaurant down there, and that was 12 years ago, 10
Yeah.
years ago,
It's been a while.
which never happened, and now that's who's selling it back to
Yeah.
us. It's just, being on the southern side of the tracks, it's gonna be tough to find a use for that property, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'm not saying
easy.
that negatively, I'm saying this may be a great fit for it.
I think it's a great location to have something, like Terry had mentioned. We have the lake and Center Park on the north side, but we don't have
Sure.
anything on the south side. So as you think about how you create places, having this park in that location, not far from our parking lot on the south side, by the railroad tracks, which is less valuable than say some other property. It's a great location to have kind of that type of use and commingling with what the future may hold on that south side as we work towards the Marsh property. So obviously there's going to be other developments that we look at doing. There's going to be other properties that we look at packaging for new developments. And this will just be an asset that we can focus around as we look at future development on that south side.
I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
One is this price, was that an appraisal price?
Yes.
Okay. Second question deals more with the park, and I don't mean to throw cold water on it at all. Couple of thoughts. One is it's right on Jefferson Street in a railroad track.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hear you say, Terry, we're gonna try to attract children, kids, and families, which might create a safety concern. Because Jefferson Street, even though it's not a main street, it is used, and it's used a lot for Presby preschool drop-off and pickup.
Yep.
And then, who knows what the future holds with kind of, an alarm bell is going off in my head. The other thing that I'll mention, and I'll be quiet, is, there is a park not far from there. What's the name of that park back in Marsh? Help me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah. There's a basketball court.
It's a neighborhood park,
Yeah.
it's,
Yep.
maybe a block away.
Yeah,
Okay, so one thing that I keep hearing, from people is a need for a dog park. You know, we keep building apartments, we want people to come downtown, they're living without yards, some of them have pets. Is there a consideration for part of this being used as a dog park, or a place where people can take their pets, or, just a thought,
yeah.
just wanted to share. it
For
with you.
now, you know, I think the plan is, what the plan is not to say that it can't change. I'd have to check, we originally were doing a dog park down by, the street department. It's a new facility, it's on be the south side of, it's like Hand Avenue, and I'm assuming that we're still putting that dog park there. I could be
I
wrong.
think they pivoted to McKinley,
Did they?
the McKinley Park, yeah,
Okay.
Krebs.
I'll have
That
to,
property along there,
Yeah.
and then,
I'll check
don't
with,
quote me on that.
I'll check with
Not involved
Justin,
anymore.
but I do know that was high on our list of things to do. And I thought we had, and I'll check with Justin and get back with you on that one, Mike, but I thought the intent was to have a dog park pretty close to downtown where you could walk along the trail on Market Street and connect to that dog park, but I'll double check, see where they're at with that.
But we can't do anything until we buy one.
Can't make a dog park or a,
So I would make a motion that we approve the purchase.
Mike's made a motion to approve the purchase agreement on the property at Jefferson Street in Buffalo.
I'll second.
All right, Joe seconded that. All in favor of approving the purchase of the property, signify by saying aye.
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 Jeremy, will that park be operated by our Parks Department?
yes,
So certainly their board will have to weigh in on that.
yes, yeah, all of this will go through Larry, we're just kind of the initial
Right.
front
first
facing, and most likely, if they can get all their ducks in a row, we will have some kind of funding capacity in it, with hopes of getting some grant money and talking to Larry, but so we'll probably be a funder as well, but ultimately Larry will drive the project in terms of what it is and how it ties into our park system.
So for that reason, it will come back to this board.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, thank you. Next, we have a waiver for conflict of interest, Baker Tilly.
Yeah, just give you a little bit of background, and this is probably a little bit ahead of the game, but at this point, it doesn't hurt to do it. Baker Tilly's been a long time financial representative on any projects that we would do to the Redevelopment Commission. One of the developers we're talking to is known as M2, and they have expressed interest in doing a project here in Warsaw. They have also used Baker Tilly in the past and probably will intend to use them in this case. So basically what they're asked is that if we intend to use Baker Tilly for our purposes, that we've cited this waiver of conflict of interest, they would not, the two people working on it, primarily our representative has been someone different and has represented this company on the private side. Our representative would still represent us, but another individual at Baker Tilly would represent this M2. So it's just a waiver of conflict of interest stating that we understand that they also represent this other entity, and that we understand that they have a relationship with M2.
Does it put you at any pause to have them on both sides of the table?
No, because who we're going to use is not the person that works with them, but they do work at the same company. There's a lot of hurdles to get through with this before we even get to a point where we have a project. So they sent it to me, I said, well, I'll go ahead and get it done. Whether or not we even have a project that gets to a point where we even employ them, I don't know at this point.
Did the city attorney have a chance to look at this and say, oh, I think that's okay?
I did not ask him. I can. I don't know that there's any rush on this per se. Like I said, there's a developer that's expressed interest. He's given us a plan. Part of the problem is the property is not in the city limits. It has to be annexed into the city limits, and annexing that particular property may be a challenge given the annexation laws. So we've got to figure that out before we can even discuss what a project looks like.
Jeremy, this last year, in our dealings with the library,
Mm-hmm.
we had, I believe, a similar case where they were represented by Baker Tilly
Mm-hmm.
and we were represented by Baker Tilly. But we worked through that pretty good because they were pretty much partitioned off from each other.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, maybe I shouldn't assume, but this would be sort of that same.
Yeah, who we use on the government side strictly does government, and they have people that do private side, which is an individual we don't work with, who represents and has helped this M2. But our public side has always been the same people and will be the same people, and they'll be representing us. They do not represent this M2, and they just know that other individuals in the company have represented him in the past, and so moving forward, they need to make sure that we know, and that they will keep them separated. For whoever represents him represents us and not the same person. But we still need to understand that there's a waiver of conflict there.
So it sounds like the argument could be made that what we just went through with the library was even we were in closer proximity to them than we would be with this.
Yeah.
I think historically this happens pretty frequently, and I see it in the work I do now all over. It's not unusual. It's good to acknowledge it, recognize it, and like you say, it's two different areas of professional services. So I'd make a motion to approve this.
And I would second it.
Okay, so Joe's made a motion to set the conflict of interest, and Jack has seconded it. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving this, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the claims, Jeremy.
Well, we have a few. First one is A&Z Engineering for 200 North and Husky Trail Roundabout, $13,121. That's for ongoing engineering services. $6,727.27 is our ongoing service agreement with Main Street Warsaw, our monthly service agreement. Avon Marsh, $8,480 is the Millwork Streetscape. NIPSCO, $247.43, Marsh Utility and Warsaw Chemical. NIPSCO, $154.93 is the Warsaw Chemical. NIPSCO, $46.46, the Marsh. Indian American Water, $148.33 is for the Warsaw Chemical. Eastern Engineering, $41.58 is our monthly copy machine fee. Barnes and Thornburg, $3,373.50 is for legal services, mostly specific to the Thompson and Thrift purchase agreement. And then American Structure Point, $65,057.66, and this is for Anchorage Road Construction Inspection Project Contract.
Jeremy, Jeremy, we're not talking a lot of money, it's almost the smallest claim here, but why are we still paying something at Marsh?
Cause it's been,
We've actually.
Sorry I asked.
No, this is the final invoice. This is the final one.
Okay.
Yeah. And just so you know, Travis has reimbursed us for all these.
yeah.
It's just been a headache trying to get them to switch it his name.
Oh, the bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we credited it.
Mike, I've been asking that question for a long time.
This is the final one. It did say final invoice on it.
It's been,
NIPSCO gets a switch.
Yes.
so we would, yeah, I don't know, it's a long back and forth. We talked to him, so yeah, we switched him over, we talked to this, goes, no, he didn't. He filled out a piece of paper, oh, okay, so what was he supposed to do after that? Well, he was supposed to do that, okay, so we talked to him, it's like, I did that. And I'm like, okay, well, we talked to them, and they're like, and it, back and forth, I think, finally, I think you got them in the same room on the phone at the same time, and said, you're saying, you say you've done this, and they're saying you haven't, how do we get it? So it's done.
I'd make a motion to approve the claims as presented, including the Marsh payment,
Since I made you jump through
the
hoops.
final Marsh payment.
The final.
It's just strange to see. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the claims as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Who seconded that?
Mike. It's just strange to read Marsh, isn't it, after all these years?
Yeah.
Making, well, paying utilities for Marsh.
It's been 6 months, I think.
Yeah. All right. Any other business, Jeremy?
No, I know, keep working towards, Millworks. I have a contract I gotta bring before you guys, an extension on that, but yeah, that project keeps moving forward. Hopefully we can have all the sidewalks and road design around that finished here shortly. So yeah, just keep,
It's exciting, Jeremy.
That's a big
Yeah.
project.
yeah.
It really is. Looks-
Yeah, they're moving along at a good pace, so.
Do you think we're gonna have a meeting 2 weeks from now?
Probably. I don't know that we'll have a lot on it. We'll have that contract extension on it. But outside of that, I don't know that we'll have a whole lot more. We'll see.
Any other questions for Jeremy?
Did you have a good vacation?
I did.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a second. Thank you, Bill. This meeting is adjourned.